So one of the first things that I say to the trainers and coaches and sometimes physical therapists and chiropractors who come to my mentorships is I say, it tells me a lot about you that you came here and you invested a lot of money and time into this with no real promise that you're going to get some sort of financial return right away from it. So that's really the subject of this little commentary here. What is the value if you're investing a certain amount of money in live education as opposed to going one step further than the free stuff that's online? What's the return on that investment? How is it going to help you make more money? Okay, well, several phases to this. One is the man that stands before you right here, and by the way, while I point to my shirt, a little shout out to my friends Will and Sia, Melbourne Strength Conditioning. Thanks for the shirt, guys. Been wearing it with pride. The man who is before you right now is a product of relentless continued education efforts. I hardly saved most of my fun money when I was an up-and-coming trainer from the time I was about 16 years old before I was even certified. Guess what it went to? Continuing education. I joke, I was a conference whore for years. All right, long before I was teaching at them, long before anybody in this field knew who I was except for my clients and my family members, that's what I was doing. All right? Why? Because I had this self-competitiveness that really it's about pride. So that's my number one thing. Now you're saying, oh, you're going to dance around this financial thing. Okay, we'll get there. But if you're going to work with people, so this was my thing. If I'm going to work with people who are moms and dads and doctors and lawyers and athletes and everybody in between of all stripes and all ages, I realized that 1 month of training is not going to make somebody, but 1 rep of training can break somebody. And you know what? I'm willing to pay money out of my own pocket to make sure that I give the best possible service that to my abilities and continue to grow that, to give me more confidence and pride that not only am I doing a job, but I'm doing it really well and hopefully better than a lot of other people. And I'm giving my clients the best service they possibly have. Why? Excuse my language, because that's what they fucking deserve. So if you're thinking first off of what's my financial return, you're forgetting about other means of return. All right, that's number one. Number two is normally, nothing is guaranteed in life, right? You get a ticket to the dance doesn't guarantee you a dance partner. All right, now, so with that being said, when you have more pride and you have more education, you can speak with more confidence about more things that are relevant to the field. That becomes obvious to the people who you're speaking to, and those become more clients and potential prospects. So because of my education and my experience and my continued education, the more people I talk to, the more people I can speak in school with, and I can impress them, and they can go, wow, you really know what you're doing here. And you stand out among other trainers. And to the clients that you already have, yeah, you're not going to come home from Nick Tuminello's mentorship and say, well, now I'm going to charge you $10 more an hour because I spent $2,000 on that between travel and food and the registration fee and hotel and everything else. No. But guess what? When your clients that have been paying you for a lot, investing in you, want to see that you're investing in yourself to give back to them, they're more encouraged to refer you more clients because you're doing something that other trainers aren't doing. So this is where the financial gain of training is just like gaining muscle or improvements in performance. Long-term gratification. If you're doing bicep curls today, thinking that you're going to get bigger biceps tonight, you're doing them for the wrong reasons and you're delusional. Long-term gratification. So I'm proof positive. Now again, yes, I have a certain amount of talents to get up and speak. Not everybody wants to do that. I can't sing, I can't do other things, but that's something else that I have a skill set for. So that's another aspect of it. But as a trainer, I had a tremendous amount of success working with a vast number of clients and getting invited to go out to different facilities and things. Why? Because of my knowledge base. Well, how does your knowledge, and getting more referrals, why? Because we had a reputation of being the smartest people around. And in fact, my business partner and I, check this out, sometimes it almost works in reverse. We had a private personal training studio in Baltimore, and we had a hard time getting in independent contractors, and they were going to a lot of the other gyms in the area and renting space that were nowhere near as cool as our facility. And come to find out years later, as you know, I had started to build a little bit of a reputation before I left, and he and I both had great reputations as being some of the smartest trainers in the area. We found out from several trainers that people didn't want to come to us because they were intimidated, because they heard that we were so smart, they thought we would judge them looking at their workouts. So they didn't want to come to our facility, even though we had one of the coolest facilities with all the cool toys, because of that. So, all right, that was a problem for other trainers, but that same reputation comes out to the paying clients, and those paying clients were not intimidated. They want to come to us because we were showing them they had a reputation that we would give higher value. Why higher value? Because we had higher education and abilities to do that. Higher education, not necessarily academic, but we were constantly investing in ourselves. So that's really my takeaways to this. The immediate gratification, sure, it's not going to be financial, but it's going to be pride. How do you not want to be the best or the best you can be? You might not be competitive with other people. I'm a little bit competitive. But the best service that you can possibly provide somebody, if you want to help people, then you want to help them well. You don't just want to help them. You want to do the best possible job at doing that. So getting educated helps you better do your job. If you're better do your job, you can also better help more with more education. You can better help more people. And that's what we want to do. Help as many people as possible in the right way and be able to make a living. That's the win-win. We make a living, we help as many people as possible. Education helps you do both. It gives you a wider knowledge base to work with a wider population or be more understanding about a given population so you can provide more value that way. And that value comes back in the long term because those clients see that and they're willing to then more excited to refer you. You build a reputation as being one of the smarter people out there because of your body of work that you've built, and it comes back in the long term. And I'm evidence, I'm proof positive of that. If it wasn't for me spending thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours on my continued education to see everything that was out there and take bits and pieces from things and then put it through my own philosophy and take this away and add to this, then I wouldn't have had the platform to build off of the professional that you've seen before you in the last going on a decade now of me writing articles and doing videos and DVD products and video downloads and mentorships and all those things. So I hope that gets you to understand that, the value, the return on your financial investment most likely will be a greater return in the long term, very much like training, long-term gratification from a financial side. But from an instantaneous side, there's not many things you can do in life aside from you eat and then you get a full belly that gives you such instant gratification and value than paying for something that you go, man, this is going to change my training next week, and everybody's going to be happier because of this technique, and this person's going to do better because of this technique, and now I know this, I can take this out and plug this in and make this workout safer. I got to tell you, that's far, that value, that instant value is far exceeds the financial cost in the short term.